this is the type of drama that you watch when you're 16 and fall in love with the broody character, and every nuance of the girl makes sense because it represents you in a really young stage where you were really dependent on your parents. But as an adult now, I don't think I'm the target demographic.
I don't know whether you're target demographic. I think there's also a obvious cultural
yes, for sure,
narrative.
100%.
Which I think, I mean, this is why it's so awesome, because not only do we have the members, but obviously we have the regular viewers. And I'd love to know how the story felt from the position of, from a girl. Like if you're a girl and you're in your 20s, and maybe people know of stories like this. Maybe you feel like in your family there is this sense of preconceptions, and there is the expectation and tradition and unorthodox values in a somewhat unorthodox reality and existence of life. I think that's why we saw movies like Queen, which resonated a lot with a lot of women, from what you guys told us and what we read in other reviews and stuff. These types of stories, they do highlight, I think, the difficulties of what it's like in such tight, and this is not uncommon. Like in South America, this was very much the case. It has become super modernized, so it's not as expected as it once was, but it certainly was up until the 90s, where the expectation was, if you are 20, you're getting married. If you look at our parents, like they got married. My mom got married quite young, like 21.
No, Mama got married at 19. Yeah,
19 years old, and they like my mother's first love is my father. And my father was maybe more of that type of character. Our father, he was never in jail, thanks God. But so then it's like the expectations that then the family had, or the preconceptions the family had of him. He had to earn the trust and all this other stuff. But then I'm sure there's cases where that just doesn't happen, or love is complicated and unique, and there were obviously unfair expectations on the girl and unfair expectations and pressures from the sister. She was sort of the punching bag of life, it seemed. Some girls must feel like that, right?
100%.
They feel they don't have the look. They don't feel like they're a fucking Miss Universe, because not everyone is.
I 100% understand how this can be such a reliable character and a
relatable
character too. I would have liked to see her kind of come to, I make my own choices and I'm proud of what I'm doing, rather than I'm a victim. Like there's a little bit of like soft-heartedness that she kept getting punched because she never stood her ground. Like, when do we say enough is enough? And like,
I guess that's what the makeover sort of represented, right? That
I don't think that's enough, because then it's all about superficial things.
Right.
It's all about, I changed my look and now I'm worthy of society. I don't know. I don't agree with that sort of perspective. I think we could have come to that makeover and I can stand my own ground and my growth as a person because I am good enough, because I've come to realize what I'm worth and what I can do regardless of whether my family supports me or not. Like, this is a lot of people's stories, and not just in India. I think this is circumstantial things that happen to a lot of people where somehow they don't have the support of their parents, or they don't have the support of their family. They still can make a worthy, good living for themselves. Yes, it is a scar that will carry, for sure. However, though, I don't think you are less, or you should sort of succumb to this victim mentality. Because I'm not accepted by my parents, I cannot overcome and be a better person. I don't know. I have a little bit of a conflictive opinion there.
I think this is a flawed movie, for sure. It has its flaws. It also shines in moments where I'm thinking like, wow, like, this movie is special as well, like, because the music, it's so outstanding, and there are moments where truly both characters do carry. Saru has such charming mannerisms, and the micro expressions as an actress were really on point in specific moments.
I think the problems that I had with certain scenes and with certain acting sort of interactions are because of the direction. I think the direction really misled a lot of the natural inclinations of the actors. I think the actors had the right instinct, but they were pushed in a different direction.
The directing might have been questionable here. I'm not sure, but for example, the best example I've got is that, like Waleska said it, the scene where he goes and he starts to try and look for her, and she's in the jungle in the middle of nowhere, and it's like, if you're gonna drag any scene, drag that one right during that dialogue, because it's like, one of
obviously
the
a
biggest
catalyst.
reveals of the fucking thing are gonna happen. They've been alluding to it. She gets sick, and that's what called out. Is, what, are we gonna? Is she gonna fucking die? Obviously, I guess they're right. Great.
I've been wrong the whole film, by the way, which I love when that happens.
When critiquing songs can make mistakes that only last a couple of seconds, and it sort of ruins the minute that they have earned your trust in.
Correct.
And
I feel like this film had exactly
so
that
many
pace.
moments like that where it's
Yes.
like, why are we still on this shot? Change the fucking angle or move on.
Or I just like you have a very beautiful frame, like an absolutely stunning close up of them two or something.
Why do we
and
have to
then-
see him walk behind her through the fucking woods? What did that add aside from comedy value?
Like that literally took me out of the moment. I was like, you could have been invested. And I feel like a lot of the scenes, like that library scene when he finds her, that the officer is giving him like probation for 10 minutes. I wanted to feel that. I wanted to be emotionally invested in that. However, I couldn't connect. I don't know why. I don't know why I couldn't connect. And it is sort of annoying because I'm the girl who will be weeping in a drama film.
Well,
like,
there's enough evidence to that.
like I am the girl that I want these things to be real, and I feel like a lot of the films that I love have immersed me to the point where I cannot come out of the story for days after.
I generally think I think it was a directing issue in most
And
of the
this
part.
could have been that, but I feel like the best drama film, the film that had so much potential, but it never reached it. I feel like it had so much potential.
Unfulfilled potential.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I think that might be the title of this whole thing. It also could
Sort of
be
frustrating.
perfect in its imperfections.
Yeah.
Because I think you really do have a really great film here. But I'm somewhat conflicted into... I
feel
think
like-
without this strong of an album,
Oh,
this
film
movie
would
is
have
like
not-
a fucking 5.
Yeah, this
max.
movie would have not carried.
So this is what a great example, what a fantastic movie for us to review, because it's like basically the epitome of you can utilize music in a sense that it isn't just more than an auditory experience, or it isn't just more a part of the traditional way of making a movie. You do need some fucking symphony, some symphonic approaches to things, an orchestral swell when the things are going well, and then if there is a moment of inspiration, you also can do some very bright and brilliant chord progressions with some violins and perhaps even some fucking brass lines. Great. Here you had, it was really awesome how they always utilized,
It
and
was
to make it
phenomenal.
obvious that this is the Indian societal hierarchy that dictates marriage and place in society and value, female
Yes.
value of society. Okay, we'll use a sitar in that moment just to amplify.
Let's go as classical as possible.
Yeah, just to amplify the difficulty and nuanced nature of culture. Great, fantastic. In the moments of a pop where she's doing the makeover, we'll utilize something quite unique and very weird in the sense of like it was very bumpy, quite funky actually in certain moments. They sort of cocked it up with the English lyrics. I think it's because they're trying to appeal to everyone. And I think in an attempt to appeal to everyone, they ended up pissing me off.
Yeah, they lost me. You know what I loved about the score as well? That
Tera Chehra, what a track.
Stunning. Sanam Teri Kasam.
What a track.
Stunning.
Both reprise and original.
The freaking bass booster, I don't know what type of choice that was, but it was the right one. I genuinely, and it was ballsy, that was very courageous. I do love the fact that the score dictated the emotional impact that we as the audience had to feel.
Correct.
Because without the score being incredibly dramatic or incredibly intricate or nuanced in a lot of the dramatic scenes, you wouldn't have had the emotional inclination, which I think sort of tells the lack of intention in the storytelling nature of the film, which I think where the potential is lost, and it's heavily carried by the score. It's heavily carried by the score.
I was going to say, I think I'd also give a lot of credit to the background score composer, because obviously
Yes.
Lord Himesh carried
Fabulous.
with
Can
the
we
music
give him
album.
a round of applause.
But I think the background score did so much of the heavy lifting, because
did.
you can't have a song every single time. As a matter of fact, we only really see
Actual song, like
performance-based
songs.
We
yeah.
only see in there really performing one, which is the last one, where he's like in the fucking theater. I think this movie's retention time might be one of the highest I think we've seen. I think for Indian audiences. I don't know how this did internationally, and I'd give this a movie maybe a fucking, I don't know, 7, I guess,
It's
something
a 6.
like that.
It's a 6.
I'm not sure. I don't like giving numbers anyways, because I would watch it again. That's the funny thing.
I don't think
Man, I think the music. Ugh.
No, I would listen to the album. I would listen 100 top to bottom. That
Would I
album.
watch this movie again?
Abused.
Probably fucking not.
I don't think so.
You know what I'd watch
I
again?
wouldn't.
Jay Giovanni, Hey Giovanni.
Me too.
You know, I'd watch Jab We Met again. I'd fucking Tamasha.
Oh my god, I would watch that again.
Different genres, of course. All of those are rom-coms.
Oh, for sure.
And also they're my first experience with rom-com, so maybe they've made a sort of an impact.
But I think that's what is so impactful about this film. Because if you watched this when you were in high school, for example, I can absolutely see how 14-year-old Waleska would have literally been obsessed with Inder. Like, that would have been my whole love freaking ideal.
Yeah,
like,
also, why not? What the bro's just broody 24/7. I know.
Fabulous.
Yes,
Every
he's been in
teenager
jail.
loves that.
I know he's been in jail for 8 years, and I get it. But you
He's
have a very
scarred.
capable.
His dad abandoned him. He has daddy issues. We can fix him.
I get it. But you have a really capable actor.
Stunning.
And you have a somewhat interesting plot. Somewhat.
It's just dramatic for the sake of being dramatic. I hate the fact that
There is some
you
plot
only-
convenience sometimes.
Every time, Efra.
Not every time, because to be fair, 2 of them were resolved because they made sense. Like, I thought another convenient thing was like, oh, he just escaped. The police officer lets him go into the library.
Yeah,
and
no,
doesn't
that
have
was
to pay.
nice.
That was a nice sort of. There is a bit, consequence. I think the other convenience thing is that he just sort of fucking found her in the middle of the jungle.
And then he found her in this big ass library.
No, the library's fine.
No,
the
that
library's
is-
fine because she.
Efra, have you lost somebody in a library before? I have. It is hard to find people, okay?
Yeah, but that library wasn't that big.
Anyways.
Mate, it wasn't the fucking British
Fair
library.
enough,
like,
fair enough.
Jesus
you can
Christ.
Have it.
No.
Do you know what I have a problem with as well? The fact that
The big convenience thing is that he finds her in the jungle.
Oh, yeah,
You wouldn't
100%.
have found anyone.
Nobody. But do you know what is annoying to me? She had to be in her deathbed for her dad to forgive her, or for her to die, for Inder's dad to come to terms with I can have a redemption arc.
Actually,
That's really annoying.
Actually,
I don't like that.
the movie actually struggles from his own self-narrative because part of Saru's character, Sarasvati's character, is that she does not want a pity party.
But
She does not want a you do not marry me out of pity, and also you know people pitied me because I'm a bit ugly or I didn't have the look or I was a bit shy, so then they took advantage of me. And then funnily enough, the only way she gets a fucking I forgive you is when she's fucking dying. Any more of a pity party?
I hate that. I think it's
Now it could be interpreted in other ways.
Oh, more definitely.
You know, in the face of death, we all
come together and forgive each other.
correct
Yes. Fabulous.
for us to continue
to
live
in a positive way.
You could describe it like
100%.
that, but you could also,
You could also say why. You could also ask, why did it take somebody dying?
Wow, people really love this movie.
I understand the love. I really do. I understand why this is a cult classic. I 100% do. And I think it touches in themes that a lot of people feel they resonate with a lot of people. I understand.
I wonder how our review is gonna be received. Oof. You know, we've been receiving a lot of like, it's all right if you disagree. It's completely fine. That's the whole point of art.
I'm sorry.
No, you shouldn't apologize. Nothing to apologize about. Like, you can agree with the review section. You can agree. You can disagree or agree. Like, that's complete. This is why I love the comment section. This is why we love that stuff.
I just think it could have been so much more. I feel like we kept tapping into something that could have been greater, and we never got to see that potential, and it's sort of disappointing. I don't know. It felt
curious.
It felt teenagey.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a creator watching this, or if you're obviously a reviewer yourself, or just a fan of the channel, or a viewer,
I want to hear your opinions.
Yes.